All right, this is a slate, Revenge of the Skrulls, April 17th, number 1. Take one.
Yeah, what? That's right. Cut the chit chat. You know, hit that. Yeah, hit that. Hit that. Well, we ain't a wax on the beat, so we'll hit that. Hit that. And it's watching, real boxing, link on click that.
There's Kevin Rose.
There we go.
There's Robert Heron. Oh, we're waiting for
Hey, guys.
And there's Patrick.
Hey.
Can you hear me, Patrick?
Yeah.
So say hello to Kevin Rose and Robert Heron.
Hi, Kevin. Hi, Robert.
What's up?
Hey, Patrick.
Hey, that's cool. How you doing, Patrick? If you're exhausted, or did you get some sleep?
Oh, I got lots of sleep. I got like 16 hours of sleep Friday night.
Patrick, what did you do? You drove from where?
Drove from here in San Francisco out to Denver, Colorado.
Non-stop.
No, I stopped in fabulous West Wendover, Nevada.
And why did you do this?
It was actually the two things. I was meeting up with the Fire guys to go see a premiere of Dust to Glory, which is an off-road movie by Dana Brown, the guy that did Step into Liquid. He did he put 90 cameras down in the Baja 1000 a couple years ago and captured 250, 300 hours of video and turned it into a 2-3 hour movie, which is pretty impressive.
Wow.
And it turns out it was a showing for Centrix Financial, who's some people we've supported in racing with Wide Open Baja and the Baja 1000 this year. And they actually flew out Dana Brown and his co-producer and some of the key people in the film to talk to everybody after showing the movie, which was kind of a trip.
So anybody who's curious what Patrick Norton is doing these days, it's driving in the dust.
No, mostly it's writing for Extreme Tech and ExtremeIPod.com.
Wait a minute, there's something called Extreme iPod?
Extreme iPod. ExtremeIPod.com. Well, I'll give you 3 guesses, Leo.
Well, how extreme can you get with it? What's the most extreme you can do with an iPod?
Well, we actually are just starting up a contest, getting people's pictures in of stuff they're doing with their iPod and where they're doing it. And I expect to be deeply offended, and I'll let you know and forward anything interesting to you as soon as I can.
Oh, that kind of extreme. That's very different. As long as we're catching up, what you up to these days, Robert? Everybody knows Robert Heron as the crazy lab rat who specialized in video and would come on the show and with his whacked out hair and tell us the latest thing in video. Or you're not on TV though these days, yeah?
No, not these days. I am working, though, for Extreme Tech and PCMag.com.
Doing the
I'm
same kind of thing?
Taking over their HDTV lab, actually.
Oh, that's fun.
Putting together a new facility, and at the moment, just grinding through some of the latest and greatest in HDTV.
So the only person who's gainfully employed in television here would be Kevin Rose.
Hey, you are too, Leo.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
But it's in Canada. That doesn't count.
No, it counts.
What's going on in the G4? What is in the show now? The Attack of the Revenge of the Show? What is it?
No, they've changed the name. Obviously, the Screensavers is no longer, but it's now called Attack of the Show.
You sound so thrilled about this.
Oh yeah.
Now I want to call this podcast "The Revenge of the Squares." You think Charles Hirschhorn's going to sue me if I do that?
Oh yeah, you're probably going to get a nice little cease and desist or something like that too. I'm sure, Leo.
I'll call it Trots. Then that way nobody will know what it is.
There you go.
How about that?
Excellent.
Yeah, I like that idea. So Kevin's also working on his own. What's called the Vanity Project. It's his own offline TV show. Tell us about System.
System. No E. It's systm.org. And it's basically, System is going to be kind of an old kickback to the old Screensavers where I focus on one particular subject per episode. So it may be, I don't really want to give away our future episodes, but it may be something that has to do with, a hardware hack or some really cool open source, Linux distribution that we really want to show off.
And how long will the episodes be? I mean,
between 15 to 20 minutes per episode.
Cool. Is it going to be you or Fu, or who's going to be involved in this?
So far, there is a few people involved. There is Dan Hewitt, of course, is going to be kind of co-hosting it with me.
Cool. So this is kind of the successor to the Broken, or is it this is kind of different?
Well, we still want to go do another episode of The Broken. That was a lot of fun. But this is kind of the grown-up Broken a little bit.
More mainstream?
More mainstream, no 40s or anything like that. So
you're talking about the malt liquor that you began the first episode with and made it, which means that we could never play the full episode on the Screensavers.
That's right.
As a cut before they broke out the 40s.
But yeah, pretty much it's going to be it's just going to be a lot of fun. It's just yeah, we had to I remember a couple times where we were showing clips of The Broken. We had to make sure there's no 40s in there. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Well, I know a company, a little company up in Toronto that would love to distribute a television version. You don't have a problem with them buying it from you, do you?
Hey, that sounds good. We're pretty much open to anything. I mean, one of the main things though is that we want to keep it also online. We want to have that online component because we know that even with G4, the old Tech TV, you were only limited to the people that can actually watch,
right?
And they had the digital cable or the extended digital cable or whatever you needed.
It's nice not to have that 7-minute or whatever it is, 4.5-minute limit too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we can go really geeky and really take our time and not have to worry about breaking it up or dumbing it down any.
Show of hands. Was anybody frustrated by the limitations of Tech TV? Okay. No, you weren't.
Not at all.
You miss it?
I miss that environment.
I do too. It was great to be able to go in the lab and see you guys and talk to about what you were up to.
After seeing firsthand how TV is really just about numbers in Los Angeles, it makes me realize how special that whole environment was we had in San Francisco at that time.
Yeah, we were ignorant.
Yeah, but I think toward the end we were actually getting it together in such a way, and it would have been nice if we could have extended it for another year just to see what would have happened.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Robert, we worked together in LA here, and it's a completely different environment down here than it was in San Francisco.
Like what?
Well, it seems to me that our owners at the time when we were Tech TV just understood tech. They understood that there was actually a market for it, that people really enjoyed getting geeky in certain areas, and it was the fact that we were constantly having to trim a lot of that out, and it was just to the point to where you really weren't even getting enough information to make it worthwhile. If that makes sense.
Is there something if you had a free reign right now on Attack of the Show? Is there what's a topic you'd like to cover right now that you couldn't cover, or is there one?
Well, what they really want me to focus on Attack of the Show right now is kind of some of the dark tip stuff that I've been doing in the past. But there's a lot of stuff that we did at Tech TV that we can't do any longer. Like a good example is you remember, Leo, when I built that shocking Xbox controller.
Yeah, that was great.
It was fun because you could play with your friends and you would actually feel the pain because there were shocking sensors in the handles. But I want to even take that a little bit further and kind of do a nice little shocking chair where you could be sitting there and actually have more shock points. It was just a fun project that I wanted to do, but we got denied. We can't do that.
You know who invented the electric chair, don't you?
No, I don't.
Thomas Alva Edison.
Really?
Yeah, he supervised the first execution. His thought was this will be a more humane way of executing people. The only reason I know this is because our old buddy Hank Kaiser, who now works up here doing shows for the History Channel, is producing a documentary about Thomas Edison and the electric chair. And he actually sent me an email saying, did you know that you look like the later in life, the older Thomas Edison? And which I was very flattered by. And would you like to play him on the History Channel special about Thomas Edison and the electric chair? I said, you bet. Unfortunately, the schedule didn't work out. I was in Toronto when they had to tape, so. Or maybe
I think I actually ended up watching that episode.
Wouldn't that be fun to be Thomas Edison? Yeah.
There actually wasn't a word for electrocution back in the day. So Edison immediately came out with the word being Westinghoused.
Was this because he hated Westinghouse?
Oh, Westinghouse in Tesla basically perfected the AC system that we use today.
And his DC system was harmless.
His DC system was harmless, but it was limited in range, where you would literally have to have a power plant every half a mile to a mile.
Yeah, 12 or 15 yards.
You've been Westinghoused. That's hysterical.
Of course, George didn't appreciate that and made sure that didn't come to be a common term.
Well, as it turns out, unless you think having flames spurt from your ears is humane, it's not the most humane way to execute people.
I mean, considering none of us have been executed, in a hands-on testing environment with some repeated attempts for comparison, I mean, who knows what the most humane version is?
It's not too late, Patrick. I mean, our lives aren't over yet. We may have a chance. Someday, we may have a chance. So, I don't know exactly what this show, this Revenge of the Screensavers, is going to be. I mean, it's fun just to sit around and talk. And I'd love to invite more people. Right now, we're using Skype to do it, which seems to work fine. I mean, we've got 4 people, and the quality's good. You know.
When I realize where all the background noise you're hearing on my end's coming from, I have this noisy box sitting right next to the mic.
Yeah,
so
I hear that.
Should have just put it on my. Should have just put it on my notebook.
How many fans are in your computer?
I think just 2.
2.
But they're pretty loud. Actually, the loudest fan you're probably hearing is the one on the motherboard itself.
You might be getting some from me. I'm not recording my audio, though. The audio that comes, you may be hearing something different from me. You are hearing something different from me than you'll hear on the broadcast, because I record. Nobody cares about this, but I'll just tell you, I record directly from a real radio mic, so that I sound good while you guys sound like you're,
So the rest are going to be wah, 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 wah. Next up on this podcast.
Hey, there's certain privileges accrue to the person who owns the mixer. That's all I'm saying. You know that from your days in rock and roll. You know, you get the power of the board. Yeah. So, any news stories? Anything in the current events that are of interest to anybody? Anybody want to mention anything that's bugging you these days? Patrick, what's bugging you these days?
Actually, you know what's been bugging me these days?
What?
Is so I'm finally gonna switch cell phone carriers. Right?
Yeah.
And it's something I've been putting off for 3, 4, maybe 8 years.
You've been Sprint as long as I've known you.
I've been Sprint since I basically bought a cell phone because there are no working payphones in San Francisco.
That's right. When we were in Paris,
they saddled me with a pager.
When we were in Paris, I showed my son. When we were in Paris, I showed my son they had a payphone. I said, "Look, Henry, remember this day. You won't see many more of these." You're right. Who needs them now?
You need to turn the level down just a smidge.
Am I too hot for you? You know what I was doing? I was talking into the microphone. Let me sit back.
Well, no. What happened is it was like so. I was in Paris with my son, and I went, "Hey."
The technology. Is this better?
Fabulous.
Okay. I was just saying that I showed him a payphone. I said, "Well, look at this. This is history. You ain't gonna see many more of these. They still have them in Europe." So have you decided who you're going to go with?
I think I'm actually going to end up going with Verizon.
People seem to agree that's the best carrier.
Verizon is by far the best carrier, no doubt.
Well, the other thing is their coverage, especially compared. I mean, the one thing I like about Verizon more than anything else is their coverage map is actually readable. Singulars has gotten pretty good too. Well, you laugh, right? But if you look at Sprint's coverage map, it's the funniest thing you've ever seen. It's basically 3 shades of greenish blue, and if you're not looking at it on the right particular page off of the Sprint thing, it's about 300 pixels across. So you're looking at a map of the entire United States, and there's a green blob pretty much between Toledo, Ohio, and Chicago, and there's a green stripe from Boston down to D.C.
It works. It just works.
A couple green blobs, Florida's a green blob, Dallas is a dark green blob, and then you get into California, and you can see the I-5 corridor, and then you can see I-15 up to Vegas, and then you get the rest of Nevada and Northern California are 2 subtle shades of green, and you can never tell what's actually covered and what actually isn't covered.
Yeah. So
Who supports the Sidekick 2?
I have a Sidekick 2 with T-Mobile, and I love my Sidekick 2. But
I don't like the Sidekick.
It's such a lockdown environment. You can't just put any arbitrary software on there. It has to be stuff T-Mobile sold. You can't put any ringtones on there but what T-Mobile sells you. On the other hand, I've got an SSH application that allows me to log into my server, and I can run any command line Unix application. So
yeah, but Leo, how fast is that really?
It's not too bad.
I've tried it on the old. I tried SSH, so it seemed to be extremely slow with T-Mobile.
Well, you have to be patient.
Yeah.
Where Verizon has a real advantage, and it's not in San Francisco, but it is in L.A., they have an incredible high-speed that EDVO network is incredible. Have you tried that down there, Kevin? Or
No, I haven't tried that. I actually am having some cell phone problems as well. I have the Trio 650 from Sprint right now.
Yeah.
And I hate that phone. Pat, do not buy that phone. I know you were thinking about it.
Kevin, you returned your Trio 600. You didn't like that one either. Why'd you go with a 650?
Well, I just thought the resolution of the screen is just so much better, and then it has a better camera. I thought it would fix a lot of the issues that I had with it before, but I just don't really like it. It's too bulky. It's just, I don't know. It feels like carrying on a brick with you.
Yeah. Well, that's the same thing with the Sidekick too. It's a little clunky. On the other hand, it's got a real keyboard, and I can use AIM. I always have AIM running, and that's pretty cool. It's the sad thing is it's designed for people your age. And so they have all this hip ringtones, a lot of rap and stuff. Nothing for, where's the Joni Mitchell? There's no Joni Mitchell ringtone. Nothing for people my age. I want some James.
Hey, Leo, you like rap.
I do. I like rap.
You could create a Joni Mitchell ringtone.
No, you can't. No, that's the point, is that they have locked the Sidekick down so tight that you are not only, look at what happened to Paris Hilton. They have all your data. So if somebody hacks their servers, you're dead meat, So I make sure I don't take any dirty pictures. Or if I do, I erase them right away.
That's good to know.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing, man. I appreciate that.
So the thing to look at, Patrick, is this high-speed connection, and now they have Verizon has this thing called Vcast, which is real.
Yeah.
What?
There's not much. I mean, the Vcast is a great idea, but we're about 6 months or a year before it starts getting really interesting. Because we've been kind of tracking the 3G stuff that's been coming out on Extreme Tech and the emerging technology sections.
Yeah.
And it's like the stuff that's Verizon's offering, the high-speed stuff is spectacular, but right now they're in, I think, 30 markets.
Yeah, you have to be in a market where they have it. That's the problem.
Yeah. So if you travel in like 30 major cities, none of which is San Francisco, you're in great shape,
right?
Especially if you stay in the downtown area.
Well, that's what I was asking Kevin, because it does support L.A. It's weird towns, too. I think like Syracuse. I mean, they're slowly rolling it out.
I think they're actually going to try to get it out to at least 100 markets by the end of 2005.
Yeah. Well, I haven't seen it. That's why I was wondering. But I've heard good things about it if you're in the right market, and I guess that's the key. So you're going to go with plain old Verizon then. You're not going to worry about the data.
Go with plain old Verizon.
Yeah. What do you use, Robert?
I'm a Nextel person personally.
Nextel.
I have to have Direct Connect, but they were just purchased by Sprint, so.
Yeah, that's right. I think, pardon me, but isn't this walkie-talkie thing stupid?
It has some stupid functionality to it in terms of the fact that
everybody can hear what you're saying.
That, and everyone has that same double chirp.
Yeah,
and
it's so annoying.
There's no way to change that, and there's no way to lower the chirp without lowering the person's volume at the same time.
Don't you think, though, that is there any... I mean, look, it's bad enough that...
And being rude with a cell phone, period, is just wrong. Yeah, there are plenty of alternatives out there. Especially that boom microphone is awesome, where you can just whisper into it.
Yeah. Oh, you like that?
The boom?
Yeah.
Arguably, it's just a lucky design by a very clever engineer.
Yeah.
It has, analog voice cancellation built into it, and you literally can whisper into it, and the person next to you is totally not interrupted at all.
That's depressing. They gave me one when they first came out, and I accidentally stepped on it, so...
They were fragile.
I never got to try it.
They were fragile and expensive.
And it's been broken in my case. Dead in the water now.
But I swear by Direct Connect just for the ease of just seeing if someone's there. It just makes it for me and my community of friends who use it. It's the simplest thing for me.
Now I just pray that the FCC and then the FAA don't approve cell phone use on airplanes. Not because of the technology issue or the wireless issue. Just who wants to sit in an airplane full of loudmouth, boring people for 6 hours?
You better get used to it because it's coming.
Oh man,
it's coming with a vengeance.
It's a nightmare. That's where I plug my Etymotics in and I turn the Metallica on to the full volume and I just, pray the plane doesn't go down because I won't know.
Is that the in-ear headphones?
Yeah, the ones that make you gag.
Oh, I love those.
But at least I don't hear the cell phone. I'm gagging, but I don't hear the cell phone conversation. I don't. Has anybody used these Bose noise canceling ones? I don't think they're very good. I don't like them.
No, the audio's kind of and I'll be honest with you, I always feel like my head's going to explode when I have any of the noise-canceling headphones on.
It's like you're in cotton or something, huh?
Yeah.
It's weird.
It has like a pressure.
Yeah.
Almost to your hearing. And the Bose are the best at noise canceling, but Sony's were probably your best value.
Oh, really?
And they honestly, for any kind of repetitive noise, and especially in offices with air conditioning, and it's amazing if you can tolerate that pressure, that synthetic pressure, you kind of feel more than hear. Mm-hmm. They're great.
I've used the Bose at work, and they drowned out pretty much everything else. So I like them. They're decent.
Well, we'll all be wearing them on airplanes so that some nitwit can talk for 5 hours on his cell phone. God, there's nothing worse. I was after we got back from France. I'm on the bus. I took the airporter, and I'm on the bus back, and some guy just couldn't be an hour on a bus without calling every one of his friends who announced he was back. He literally made 20 phone calls, and I'm just dying. Thank God for the etymatics.
I don't mind the phone calls so much as I mind the really loud phone calls.
Well, everybody seems to feel like they have to talk loud on a cell phone. Why is that?
Well, it's like, it was like when my dad would wear headsets when he was listening to a CD player. And
right.
Like, son, can you get me a Diet Coke?
What?
And it's like, Dad, you're the one with the headphones, okay?
I hear you just fine. Hey, guys.
I think personal illicit cell phone jammers are going to be the new rage.
Yeah. It's like that TV be gone. Isn't that awesome?
Oh, where it just puts out every off code for every display out there.
You just walk around, turn it on. My son wants one of those. I said, Henry, you don't go in enough bars yet. When you're 21, I'll get you a TV. It's not, you gotta have a real need for it. What's your favorite gadget right now, Kevin Rose? What are you doing?
Oh, man, I haven't got to see gadgets in a long time.
Really? What? Why not?
Well, I mean, we don't have as many on the show as we used to. I did see a really nice 3 CCD little miniature handheld camcorder the other day.
Because of the system, you're becoming an expert on camcorders.
Yeah, we happened to get we purchased a really nice one.
I was talking about, we're talking about having headphones on.
Is Patrick having a side conversation?
I think so. I think he is.
My wife just came downstairs with a Diet Coke.
Let's listen in while Patrick and Sarah have a little marital discussion.
Wait, where's the mute button?
Can she hear what we're talking about?
Well, she could hear me when I was yelling about, how I was talking about Dad having the headphones on, be like, son, get me a Coke! And she came down here with this really cross look in her face.
But she brought you a Coke. No, she thought you were actually asking for one. I love it. Well, Sarah's been an important part of all of our podcasts to date, all one of them. So I'm glad she made an appearance, a little cameo on this one as well. How's married life treating you, Patrick?
Good.
Yeah,
amazing.
You married a great woman. You really did.
I like to think.
Yeah, you did well for yourself. So, Kevin, you were saying there's a 3 CCD camcorder. Is it the Panasonic you like, or what is it? Which one do you like?
The one that we use is the Panasonic. It's the 100A.
The 24p one.
Yeah, the 24p cam, and it's just a great camera all around. It's got the XLR inputs on the side, so you can just go straight in from your wireless mics. It's really nice, but that is not really your typical consumer device. When what I've been looking at lately that's really kind of got me excited is the fact that I'm seeing more and more LCD monitors just fall in price.
Yeah.
I just bought a really nice Dell 19-inch LCD. I got it for a little over $300.
I saw that deal on Dig. The widescreen Dell was so cheap. Was that the one you got?
Well, no, I got this was I have an Apple display as my main display.
Really?
But this is just kind of a 19-inch Dell standard DVI for like $300. It was like $312 shipped to your door, which is just amazing considering you get DVI and it's a really nice 19-inch Dell.
That's cool.
That's 1280 by 1024.
Yeah, exactly.
That's nice.
Is it secret that you do Dig, or is that known?
No, it's pretty much known. I didn't really go out shouting it right off the bat because I really didn't want to.
I'm a fan.
Well, I appreciate it.
Dig, for those who don't know, is kind of one better than Slashdot because instead of some random taco editing it, the humans who use it, who read it, choose what stories float to the top. And as more and more people have joined Dig, it's become really better and better. I use it as part of my news beat check because I get the most interesting stuff that doesn't show up anywhere else on there.
Yeah, a lot of it's kind of offbeat stuff, but it's cool like that. And there's some articles I find that I haven't seen anywhere else.
Yeah. DIGG.com. What are you doing? What's your plans with that? I mean, are you going to grow it? What do you?
Well, I've just been working on it just pretty much nonstop since November.
Oh.
On my free, nights and weekends, I've pretty much been working on it.
Cool.
And we're in the process of redesigning little portions of it to make it a little easier to use. I'm adding a bunch of new features. Friends, so there'll be a friends list to where you can have keep track of all your friends that are on Dig, and it'll create dynamic RSS feeds for your friends.
Oh, that's neat.
So that you can have an RSS feed that you subscribe to that is just what your friends are digging throughout the day. That'll automatically update.
That's the future, isn't it? That's the future.
Oh.
I've always thought we should have something where you could know where your friends are listening to, doing, reading at all times, and then you could just follow along.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about Dig is it's not something that tracks you, obviously, to all the sites that you go to, but you just let your friends know what you're into. So there's that privacy there that is still intact.
Speaking of websites, you know where I'm going with this, don't you? Patrick Norton.
Ah, yes, Pat.
St. Patrick's Day. You put up a site at 5 minutes to midnight.
Yes.
And then what? It's a month later. Have you posted another posting yet? Oh, Skype conveniently has stopped working.
Oh, it's cut out.
All of a sudden, Skype stopped working magically. Say again, Patrick?
No, he's doing
that on purpose.
Yeah. What, honey? We're losing the signal. Oh. That is very convenient.
Breaking up.
It's very convenient.
I'm going to try to update it probably twice a week.
Are you?
This week.
Good.
Well, it was the first week. It was just kind of a shock because in the first couple days, about 40,000 people showed up.
See. We've been telling you this.
Well, it was it's one of those moments like, wow. What is neat? This is terrifying.
People,
who's this little weasel that's calling me a poser?
Well, there you go. That'll get Patrick started.
But
Slam Dance Industry, is it slamdanceindustry dot?
It's actually it's typepad.patricknorton.com right now,
or rather vice versa, patricknorton.typepad.com, right? Yeah.
So I actually need to basically. Starting this week, I'm going to start updating a couple times a week.
You know what URL domain I just got, which I love, is leo.am through the Armenian registry.
Excellent.
In fact, I was thinking we could make that be the official URL of this podcast. leo.am. That's not fair. We'll have to come up maybe with trots.am.
Leo.am may be better than Trots.
Trots is not maybe the best image.
The 24-hour podcast about sitting down on the toilet because things have gone wrong. Trots.am.
Tune in whenever you need to. One last question before we head for the hills. I presume, is everybody up for doing this again next week?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Yeah. And down the road, I'd like to do video, figure out how we can kind of convert this to a television show.
Well,
I've got the equipment.
Huh? Go ahead, Patrick.
So Kevin said he's got the equipment, and I was saying we need to figure out how to up the audio quality on the Skype feed.
Kevin's always said he's got the equipment. I'm still waiting to find out.
Video.
Oh, video. Oh, okay. No,
and I'll definitely swap this mic out for a better mic for next week.
It sounds better than you think, Patrick. Wait till you hear the podcast. Okay. It actually isn't bad.
It might just be the horrible equipment I'm using on my end then.
It could be. Another thing that we could do, I guess, is we could all just set up video cameras pointed at ourselves while we do it, and then this would mean that the podcast would take a lot longer to get out, but we could all tape ourselves, then mail me the tapes, and we could edit it together and make a TV show out of it.
I've got the Mac Mini, so we can do the new Tiger.
That's what I'd like to try. Is when Tiger comes out on the 29th, it has video conferencing. What is it, 3 or 4 way? I can't remember. I think 3 people at a time, but 4 people can use it.
Do you want it now, Leo? We can test it out.
I don't have it now.
Oh, I got it.
Well,
am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, you're allowed to say that. I don't know if you have a legitimate copy or not. Nobody else does. So.
Developers do.
Theoretically, I'm working on a Tiger book, but I'm writing it the way I write all my books, which is completely hands off. So the guy who actually is writing the book, Todd Stouffer, has the copy. I didn't want to sign the NDA because if I found out anything, I didn't want to not be able to talk about it. But
Leo, I got to tell you real quick, one of the easiest ways to get access to all this types of stuff is you can sign up for the Developers Network for $99.
Oh.
And they send you all the latest builds, and you can log in and download latest builds. Yeah,
completely
cool.
legitimately and legally. Well, we're all gonna. Actually, $99 is cheaper than $129. Do you get a final version as well?
I'm not sure if you. Well, yeah, they send you the final once it's out.
Well, that's a good deal. Do you have
I believe that's the student pricing, though. I think it's normally like $199.
Kevin's a student still. Where are you studying, Kevin?
Hey, I didn't say I paid $99. It's a good deal.
It's just a good deal. Well, April 29th. Let's see if we can do that. Patrick, do you have a Mac yet, or are you still all Windows?
Still all Windows. Sometime in the next couple months, I'm probably going to buy a Mac. Unfortunately, the content management system I'm doing, most of the professional work I'm doing right now is not particularly Mac friendly.
Yeah. How about you, Robert? Do you have access to a Mac? Or?
I do not, actually. All Windows. I've just got a new ThinkPad, though, for work, so... Yeah.
Well, it'll just have to be, just me and Kevin. See you guys. No, we'll figure out something.
I'm going home.
We'll figure out some way to do it. I mean, frankly, I don't think video adds anything at this point, but if down the road, we wanted to kind of recreate this, I guess we could do a really poor man's version of it. Maybe not. Maybe it's not worth it. I'll have to say one thing, Patrick. The audio quality of this is a lot better than the 21st Amendment.
Really?
But we're not as happy.
That was a fun place to do this.
It was. If you want, we can get back together at the 21st Amendment. The problem is, everybody's in a different city, so it would be a little more tricky to do it. But next time everybody's in town, we should all get together and do that. Guys, it's been a lot of fun. Our first Revenge of the... Oh, I can't say the name, can I?
That's right.
The Revenge of Charles Hirschhorn, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed it.
You're going to get me fired, Leo.
Kevin Rose has nothing to do with this. He's just, here.
Thank you.
Yeah. It was all my idea. Can I call him Chuck? It was all my idea, Chuck. Do you think honestly, do you think you'll ever hear this?
There's probably about a 75% chance. Yeah, probably.
Well, this is the portion of the show where we give Kevin Rose a chance to disclaim everything you've just heard.
That's right. I had nothing to do with this.
No, we have nothing. I'll be honest. I have nothing against G4 or Charles, and I'm happily and gainfully employed. I know Robert's miserable with his life, but with the rest of us,
it was perfect. I got a free ride to L.A., and then I got a great 5-month vacation.
There you go.
And now I'm back up in the Bay Area.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
I love Southern California.
No, I don't think, and I know we all get mail from viewers saying, "God, I miss it," and so forth. But I don't think those of us who are involved in it have the same feelings that the viewers do. I mean, we didn't watch the show; we just made it. So, and we're all still doing our own thing in some way or the other. I don't think Tech TV is ever going to come back. I think that's long gone. But who knows, I think with System and this and Patrick's Slam Dance Industries, who knows, I think there's a possibility that...
and don't forget Call for Help 2.0.
Call for Help 2.0. Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting that, don't I? Let's hope my Canadian masters don't hear this. No, I love doing it, and in fact, guess what? Kevin Rose is going to be on the show. He's going to come up in May to be on the show. Patrick and Robert, you have a standing invitation to come to Toronto anytime you feel like it. It's beautiful this time of year.
Oh, that's a good excuse.
The snow's almost completely melted. Hey, guys, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Leo.
Thanks for having us, Leo.
Well, that's it for the first edition of The Revenge of the Screen. We'll be back next week, lawyers permitting. Hope you'll tune in then. Thanks to Wayne and Wax at WayneandWax.com for our theme. Have a great week.